Hello subscribers, here is another review, and this time it's the Papo 2019 Gorgosaurus. Now it's been quite some time since I've last bought a Papo figure. The last time I bought one was back in February of 2018, which was the Acrocanthosaurus. Now, when I first saw this guy, I was very excited, mostly because, it was a Tyrannosaur besides T-Rex, and also it was in a pose where it was able to, to stand without a tripod. Because, some of their past theropod figures needed tripods. Now, after seeing, this type of pose, I was hoping that Papo would start doing this for their future theropod figures. But sadly, in 2020, they come out with that Giganotosaurus, with the Godzilla pose. So as always on this channel, let's start with the details. Of course, when it comes to detailing and making their figures look lifelike, Papo is always good with that. Minus the Amargasaurus and Tylosaurus. As you can see, lots of detail across the body. And mostly the head right here. See, nicely sculpted head right there. Looks fairly accurate. So you got the bottom right there. Then you got the side. You got the top. See the top, you got these osteoderms that start, from the back of the head all the way down the tail. And you got the nicely sculpted feet right there. Then you got the non-pronated arms, which look great. And you can move the jaw. You see, you got the nicely sculpted teeth right there. And the inside of the mouth. So yeah, of course, the detailing of this figure is amazing. As a lot of people have pointed out, the sculpt of this figure resembles the Gorgosaurus from the Walking with Dinosaurs 3D movie. Now, the only thing that prevents this figure from fully resembling those Gorgosaurus is the color scheme. Of course, the Gorgosaurs in the film were blue, but this one is brown and looks a bit more, naturalistic. Because I could see a Gorgosaurus having this color. See, the underbelly, it's just a very light brown, I think? I don't know. But it has like gray dry brushing all across the belly. And of course, the rest of the figure is just brown with some black stripes. And then the eye is yellow, and the teeth are like a bone white color. Now let's take a look at the aesthetics of the figure. Now this is one aesthetically pleasing figure. Not just because of the naturalistic colors and the good amount of detailing, but it's because of the pose. Now, some other Papo figures, like the Ceratosaurus and Therizinosaurus, they had, good colors and, a nice amount of detail, but it's just at the pose. They were, too dynamic, and it didn't really look realistic. This is a realistic-looking pose right here. See, it's not too dynamic, and it looks like, he's facing off with another dinosaur or defending his kill. Now let's start with the comparisons. So here we have all of the smaller-sized Papo theropods. And Gorgosaurus being a theropod at least 30 feet long, I was expecting something at most the size of the Papo Allosaurus and something at least a little larger than the Papo Ceratosaurus. But the Gorgosaurus is actually a little smaller than the Papo Ceratosaurus. I'd say it's about the same size as the Cryolophosaurus. Here's the Papo Gorgosaurus next to the Vivid Imaginations, a standard-sized Gorgon from, of course, Walking with Dinosaurs. Now, this figure right here is one of my favorite toys of all time. I think back in the day, this figure was $12, and I think that's a really good price, for this decent-sized figure with all of this articulation, the nice paint job, and the good plastic quality. Now, I was thinking that this Gorgosaurus might be my new favorite Gorgosaurus figure, but only if it was larger though, because the figure of this size for $30, it's not really worth it. So I still think this one right here is still my favorite Gorgosaurus. Here's the Papo Gorgosaurus next to the Collecte Minis Effectiveness. Well, there you have it, guys. This is my review on the Papo 2019 Gorgosaurus. And yes, I do recommend you guys picking up this figure. Despite the size, it's a very nicely done figure. The nice colors, the amazing amount of details, and of course, the pose. I'm glad Papo didn't choose to do a tripod pose with this figure right here. So I'm hoping they're to do these types of poses in the future, rather than their stupid tripod poses that the Giganotosaurus and Therizinosaurus has. So if I had to give this figure a rating, I'd probably have to give him a 9 out of 10. If it was bigger, I probably would have given him a 10. So if you guys like this review, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.